Wow, hi. So there's a tendency when we do community building activities that we look elsewhere in the country or the world. And of course, this can be a great thing to do, but it can also sort of create this false idea that there's nothing worth our own attention in our own backyard, that there's no areas of our own community that's in need of our support. And it can propagate this nationalistic belief that we know what's best for everybody else, people, places, cultures. So how do we help create these community connections with our students outside of our school walls while keeping these connections authentic? So I'm going to share with you a few of my projects and experiences and some of the books I use to spur these conversations that talk about community connections with the kids. I knew this year, second grade was studying the civil rights movement. And I wanted to build on their understanding of how people organize to fight for what's fair and what's right. So I centered on 3 books. Separate is Never Equal, Sylvia Mendez and her family's fight for desegregation, Harvesting Hope, the story of Cesar Chavez, and Brave Girl, Clara and the Shirtwaist Makers' Strike of 1909. And so while these books, they're all true, center on figures in the past, it's really important for us to make sure students are aware that history doesn't happen in some sort of static time vacuum, right? That it's never completely resolved neatly. And that there are still struggles going on right now. So to illustrate this, we look at contemporary images of teachers striking, Verizon workers striking. We see how their actions can help shift a conversation, how boycotting can do the same thing. We look at farm workers and their current conditions and why unions are still so important and necessary today. We also talk about Black Lives Matter. And you might think these are uncomfortable conversations to have with 7-year-olds, but the children's interest and knowledge and their own experiences never cease to amaze me. So I knew I wanted to get someone local into the classroom to talk about their own experiences in organizing. So I asked our vice mayor to come in, and he spoke to how he was a student organizer in high school, how he worked with civil rights leaders, and how he had to organize on a city level when he was on the city council. And after having these conversations with the students, they were fired up, and they wanted to fight for what they thought was fair and right. Now, our school had been reconstructing the playground for the majority of the school year. And by spring, when we did this project, the kids were just sick of playing on a parking lot full of potholes. So they wanted to do something. So after articulating the problem, our vice mayor gave us next steps. So the kids wrote persuasive letters, they created a petition, took it around, got signatures from students and teachers. And then we all went, so the vice mayor, myself, students, their families, we went to a city council meeting to read our letters, to present our petition. And wonderfully, the city council passed unanimously a resolution stating that they would look at the timeline of the construction and expedite it if at all possible. And I'm very happy to say that before the end of the school year, the kids were able to play in the school playground. Oh, geez, and here we are. The next project I want to share with you, I did in my 3rd and 4th grade elective, library elective class last year. And it centers around this book, The Biblioburro. And this is also a true story about a contemporary man. His name is Luis Soriano. And he and his burros, Alpha and Beto, travel rural Colombia and give books to kids. that wouldn't normally have access to books. So the kids knew, well, firstly, this is thousands of miles away, right? And it's important that we bring it back to our own community. And the way we do that is we just, look at the questions. Why is book access important? And, we know that all communities have book access issues. How can we remedy that here? So the kids wanted to post a little free library in a nearby park. Now, a little free library, if you don't know, is literally a little free library. It's about the size of a large birdhouse, and if you're done reading a book, you can put a book in. If you need a book to read, you can take a book out. So we wanted the city to fund this and post it. So our first step, we invited a city councilor in. Asked him questions, presented our ideas. What do we need to get the ball rolling on this project? So once again, we took pen to paper, and we wrote everybody. We wrote the mayor, the city council, the city's educational liaison, the city manager. And we were granted a meeting in the mayor's office. So this was an opportunity for the they're so wicked cute. So this was a fantastic opportunity. So here we are. We get to present what we wanted. We did research. We knew what we needed, how much it would cost, the time it would take, where it would be. And we were granted the funding. And the city posted the little free library. We got to work collecting donations to stock the library. Those donations are still coming in, and we still stock it to this day. But what a rich community civic experience these kids walked away with. And this is in our neighborhood. They walk by it every day, some of them. But it's not just our students who benefit from these community connections. And I wanted to make sure I involved the grown-ups in our school, the caregivers. So how I did that, I hold weekly coffees in the library. And this is a time just for people to come in with their peers, discuss ideas or issues they're having. And then monthly, I'll invite a special guest in. Now, these guests I invite all have to do, they're invested in some way with either the city or our school system. So I've had state representatives in, the mayor, city councilors, school committee members, district administrators, local administrators, specialists, teachers, nonprofit representatives, just lots of people come in. And it's a really unique opportunity for the caregivers at the school because here they have access to these officials to have a conversation with, to question in an informal and relaxed way. And what's also great about all of this is it's free. It doesn't cost anything. When you tap your local community, people want to give back and be active where they live. So what I hope that people walk away from these coffees is the ability to answer the questions, who are the decision makers in my school, in the district, and in the city? How do I best engage with these people? And what's my role as a citizen in civic and school decisions? So when we literally and figuratively open our doors to the community at large, we are holistically supporting our students and their families. How will you connect? Thank you.